This is Marc Sims asking just a few questions. This is just a few questions from Chicago. And I have the South Side. And I have Lisa Ely on the phone from Los Angeles, California. Hi, Lisa.
Hey, Mr. Mark, how are you
I'm
doing?
trying to ham it up to put some Hollywood into the voice because you're not close. You're a few miles from Hollywood. But when you left Chicago, because
Yeah.
back in the day you were what, citizen editor, the citizen newspaper editor, and a whole bunch of other stuff, right?
Yes, sir. A lot
It's
of media, 30
lot
years.
30 years media. But see,
30 years,
but I did
man.
not know until we talked last time when you were out. You went to L.A. and you got the
hmm
Hollywood bug. You did some production out there.
I did a lot of stuff out, and I'm gonna tell you, it's a hustle. And I kind of walked into it. It was after I was working.com, and we not so much laid off. The whole company just went bankrupt. That was eToys. Loved it. Favorite job to this day in the world. And after eToys got laid off, I was like, oh, I got to work. And I literally did do some freelance still in Chicago. I was kind of like kind of a rotating managing editor from LA to the Citizen newspaper. But on that downtime, did a lot of background acting and did features actually. Worked on small films, speaking. I even went and got lessons from a lady who is actually the script director for J.J. Abrams. And she taught me how to do script supervising, which also the title is continuity director. And so I did a lot of student films, low budget films. I got an IMDb credit, which I can't remember what the initials IMDb stand for. But once you get a SAG featured film and it's recognized, uh, IMDb will also recognize it too. And to get your name listed on there, like if somebody typed my name in, there's another Lisa Ely, by the way. She's a producer for some reality shows. But if you put my name in, I think I've used my middle initial. The movie I worked on will come up. And that's like a big thing. If you
Now,
work on a movie
what
and you
movie
can
was
get
that? What
IMDb
movie was
credit.
that? What movie was that?
I can't even remember the
Oh
name
no,
of it,
we'll find it.
child.
But
Yeah,
did you
it
have
was.
delusions of being a star? That's what I'm talking about.
I ain't had no delusions. No,
No.
heck no. I was trying to pay some bills. I'm gonna be
Wow.
honest,
So you
but
just
I'm a
worked it for some
hustler.
money. You hustle for some
I'm a
money.
hustler. I'm from Chicago, and one thing I could say about working on the movie sets, since I at that point had been in Los Angeles, that is a well oiled machine. They work. They are about the business. They are about, and I'll give you a typical day. Typical day. First, I'm gonna tell you how it works. When you're doing background, there's a place everybody knows about it called Central Casting. So they have a toll free number. And at that time, when they're posting up, when they need, for example, they say, okay, we're shooting ER, we're gonna need 100 people, and we're gonna, take the calls until when I didn't have a calling service, I would call Central Casting. You just kept hitting redial, redial, redial. And if you were on the set working, you get booked, you pass the phone around, everybody get booked. Then I got a calling service, which is $90 a month. And when I came, I'm telling you, and I showed you pictures, my hair was gray going into blonde. That's how I wore my hair. They used to tell me, you're not going to work because you're going to stand out too much. You need to either wear a wig or wear darker hair and blah, blah, blah. And I look at them like I'm going like myself. So it is important that you have a look that looks very generic, but I don't. Guess what? I could not stop working. I'll be very honest, for the 2.5 years that I did it, right up until the reality shows start kicking in and kind of deadening the business, I worked every day. Sometimes I worked 6 days a week. And the cool thing is, if you work certain shows, I was a regular on Just Shoot Me. And back then with Just Shoot Me, by the way, the creator and director who also does Modern Family, Steve Levitan, he's from Chicago too. So I worked on that show, and I was always booked solid 2 days a week until it was, the season was over. But I always worked that show regular. I worked a lot of the Parkers. I worked maybe every other week. I think I was booked at the Parkers. I worked. Everybody worked ER because they always had big crowd scenes. Um, I worked a lot. It was nothing I wasn't. I did videos, like I sent you a picture. I got somehow, when they did the editing, I became more featured in a DMX video. I did a Mike Mick Jagger video, and I was the only one in our group that was seen in the whole darn video. And we were there all night. So one thing about doing it is once you go in there, you can't have no regular job. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So this doing background is good for retirees who ain't doing nothing at home, and it's good for it is excellent no matter what anyone tells you. If you think you want to come in Hollywood and be an actor or actress, and you know why? Because what you learn in acting class, you could never learn in observing on how a set operates. So from working on television, from working in a movie, completely different on how they shoot, how they set up, how you walk in. Everything is different. And the one thing which I love about, like, say, a three-camera show of a TV show, for instance, I used to do Will and Grace a lot. Say doing Will and Grace, you have a day where they do a script read, you're not there. Then they have a day where they do fill-ins and they redo the script and the actors walk around where they're supposed to be on set. Okay. And the third day, they do another table read, clean the script up, and they go out on the set. The fourth day, they actually do a practice, and that's when we come in. So sometimes on shows like that, you get 2 days. We come in, they do the placement of where we're supposed to do. Then the next day, we actually do a rehearsal. Everybody go eat, and then they come back, and then we actually shoot for a live audience. So we have actually, if you're booked for a show like that, you can get 2 days on because you're gonna also rehearse with the actors, and they're on a final script. So what you learn is scripts are written 5 times in a week. So when folks say they got writers and they got like 20 people in there, they really do have 20 people in there because they got to make a whole script happen in the next 24 hours, and the next one, or change it in the next 2 hours.
And that's a
or change it
that's
in,
a sitcom though. You talking about?
That's just an idea of what a sitcom is, a TV show of a sitcom.
Right.
So absolutely. So when they do that and they do it in front of a live audience, you're there the whole nine, and you're waiting. Sometimes you're waiting all day, and it doesn't matter because you're gonna get paid for your wait. Now, one thing in California, minimum wage is higher than it is anywhere else. So it's 15 something an hour, but we always work past 8 hours. Anytime you work past 8 hours, you're going to overtime and double time. I remember a show was oh God, I hated this show too. All of us did, but it was a show about a mother, a daughter, and her mother, 3 generations, and that show was notorious for 14 hours a day.
And that's on a
So
sitcom. That's on a sitcom.
that was more of a drama
Drama.
show,
Okay. Drama.
but that show was notorious. Gilmore Girls. That's
Oh,
it.
okay.
Gilmore
Yeah, so it's
Girls.
drama. Yeah.
Oh,
Quasi.
we called it the Killmore Girls. They were notorious for 12 to 13-hour
But that
days.
thing was shot like a movie though, like
Oh, it's a drama,
Yeah,
like a
right.
TV drama.
Right.
It was ridiculous, though. No shows do that.
But
That one was,
before we cut this part off though, but that
yep,
was a few years ago. Is
yep.
Hollywood still the same as it was
It
back in
lost
the
a
day?
lot of momentum because of reality shows.
The
So there was
reality show.
not a lot of work kind of in the mid 2000s up into the 2000 teens. What I would say now, it is kind of rearing up a little bit more because you have to look at, like, say, shows like Blackish, Modern Family. Channel 7 has a lot of
You
shows.
talking about ABC?
A-
Yeah.
ABC,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, ABC. Same for, I would say, NBC. There was a lot of shooting at one point in Vancouver, Canada. A lot of people were shooting their shows there. UPN, particularly, that network, a lot of their shows are not shot in the US. They were shot in Canada or now in Georgia. So now, say if one wanted to do it, they can. And it's about having that flexible schedule and getting that experience and maybe going with a calling service, which will guarantee that you work more than if you're on your own and trying to hustle on the phone. But you learn. And the story was for people who wanted to act. They would tell them, oh, don't do background because people are going to type past you. Well, first of all, they got to know who the hell you are. There's movies where I've seen Brad Pitt did background. F. Gary Gray, the director, I saw a movie once where he was in the foreground acting a fool. He did background. Um, Brad Pitt loved background actors. Matter of fact, he'd always come and greet everybody and hug and do the whole thing. I worked in one movie and he was on there. And the thing is that they respected her work. They know you waiting all day, but you learn so much. You learn what you could not learn in a classroom. That's the bottom line. No classroom can teach you about going there. I got a box full of scripts in the back, Mark. I've never put them on eBay, but I have a box full of scripts, because when you're shooting, you also get a script because you got to know where you're going in and out, and you get your sides and the whole 9 yards. So um, I'm SAG eligible because I got a SAG voucher on. Let me see on. Oh God, let me see. Ice Cube's next Friday, the one when he did for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I got one on um, Legally Blonde 2 when she had the Million Dog March. They love my dog, so they gave me a SAG voucher. Getting a SAG voucher means you don't get the regular base pay rate. You get a higher pay rate for the day, and then you get a voucher. You get 3 of them, then you're eligible to join SAG. People kind of kill for those. I have all of mine. I got one on CSI. And CSI, what it is, I actually helped coordinate a drive scene. So it was just a scene where cars drive while they were doing some shooting. For some reason, it was 2 o'clock in the morning, and I got all caught up, and I'm out there helping them with the drive and when the cars had to move. So they gave me a SAG voucher, and I
Okay.
thought that was really sweet.
Lisa, I'm
So
going to stop this real quick. This is
yes,
part one. Then on
yes,
part two, I'm going to have you inspire Hollywood dreams, whether they film in Chicago, Georgia, L.A., or whatever. So let's stand by for part two.
okay,
Okay,
doke.
Lisa.